Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Art Whisperer 88. On your screen you will see my favorite artist Loft colors. Here is deep magenta, a phthalo blue, and a violet. So these are the colors I'm going to use as my first pull. I will create 3 different zones of color. I'm going to start with magenta. This is a brand new tube, so it still has the protective foil. Okay, so I will have 3 zones here. I'm putting the magenta in the middle. The violet on top. And the phthalo blue in the bottom. This tube is almost gone because I use it a lot. Okay, and let me see, just to be on the safe side, I will put a drop of baby oil on each end. Just to make sure there's no squeaking. I have been soaking these in very hot water, so they're nice and quiet. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and charge this plate with violet. Okay. And then blend right into magenta. And then down to phthalo blue. Now you see this pit mark here. This is a depression in the plate. It will happen sometimes to the gel plate because it shrinks and expands, and this plate has been used a few times, so sometimes the plate gets misshapen, and this is like one of the characteristics of the plate, that it doesn't keep its shape sometimes, and you get potholes, as I call them. You get potholes. So just keep that in mind, that the plate is made of jelly. It's a soft substance, and sometimes it gets out of shape. So I put my first layer. And learning my lesson from my last episode, I'm not going to leave this too long, not more than 20 minutes, just to make sure I don't get another tear on my paper. Now, a remedy for the potholes, you can feel them when you rub the plate against the paper, that there are some dips in the plate. One remedy is to just flip the plate over and use the other side. Okay, let's see what we got. And let me do a wide shot. So this is the first pool, and the violet is not as thick, but I plan to add a lot of layers on this print. So I'm going to air dry this as usual and be back in a few minutes. Okay, back after a short break, and as you can see, I had time to cut some stencils from cardstock. Now I have a whole bunch of this pink cardstock that a friend of mine gave to me, and I thought I might as well make use of it. The advantage of having a brightly colored stencil like this as opposed to acetate is it's very easy to spot, because the acetate, even if it's washable, is very hard to see on the plate. So I thought I would use these, and this is kind of getting away from the circles, and I thought I would do some angular shapes this time, just for variety. So I'm gonna do 3 zones here. One is Arctic by Lucas, and then the center will be light blue, an Artist Loft light blue, and the top will be a light green. So it'll be quite a colorful print. I'm gonna start with the bottom. And I'm debating whether to use a brush or a brayer. I may just brush this. Okay, so that's the light blue, the Arctic, and then here is the light blue. And the light green on the top. Light green seems to be very thick. So it's interesting that the different colors have different consistencies. All right, so I'm gonna brush this on. And in this case, I'm going to deliberately leave brush marks so it has like a painterly look to it. So as you can see, I'm not being skimpy at all with the paint. I'm really piling it on thickly. Alright, I just hope I don't forget any stencils. Yeah. That's that. Let me just wipe these edges here. Now, in the case of, I'm not saving these because they do not hold up well. I'm being careful not to disturb the painted areas. I think I got them. Oh, there's one more. Even if these are brightly colored, it's still easy to miss. Okay. Let me just make sure my fingers are clean. And make sure the edges are clean. So to refresh your memory, here is the first pool. It's purple, magenta, and phthalo blue. I had a bad smear here on the back because the plate was still wet. Okay, let's see what we got. It's a very different kind of texture. I forgot one, you see? I think it's very cool. The contrast is effective. I want to save this because it's such an interesting ghost print. So I have to extract that straight piece of stencil before the paint dries. So this would make a very handsome ghost print. So I'm going to air dry this and save it for the next episode. Okay, I've had the fan blowing on this ghost print for a while. I think it's pretty much dry. And since I only have one of these large format plates, I want to continue with the first print that I was doing. So, in order not to waste this ghost print, I'm just going to flip this plate over. Maybe I can use the back of this instead. Otherwise, I'd have to clean off everything and it would be a shame to waste it. So maybe this backside is smoother because I actually have never flipped this over, and maybe it doesn't have potholes like the other side. Okay. So continuing with my other stencils, I have these. I just have to make some more. Okay. Now I have to decide what the third layer is going to be what color. So I have to think about this. Now here is the print, just to refresh your memory. I did screw up and I forgot one small piece, but that's okay. That will probably get covered by the other patterns. I'm going to opt for a very bright contrast like vermilion. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then the bottom part, I'm going to do bright cadmium yellow. Again, instead of using my brayer, I'm going to use a brush. I'm just going to paint around the stencils. So this is a 2-zone color scheme. Well, and the advantage of using cardstock is it's inexpensive, it's readily available, so I don't feel bad using a lot of it. I doubt that I would do the same with acetate or some other material. One of my viewers, Diana, suggested Yupo paper. Now Yupo is really not paper, it's plastic, but it's designed for watercolor and some printmaking. But I have to be honest, Yupo is not cheap, and you know, for practice purposes I would rather use a cheap material so I don't feel guilty. So it pays to find alternatives if the material is costly. All right, so let me take these guys off, and hopefully I don't forget like I did last time. It's interesting to see the ghost print underneath all of this. Okay. I hope I got them all. Okay, so let me just making sure my hands are clean. So here is the print with the 2 layers. Okay, purple, phthalo blue, and green. And I'm introducing yellow and red. And this would be very interesting to see. And I may end up with 2 ghost prints, one on each side of the plate, which means more episodes for you to enjoy. And I find that this flip side doesn't have as many dips because I haven't used it that much. Okay, let's see. This is the magic moment. Wow. It's really wild looking. Check this out. It reminds me of the posters I used to make when I was a teenager, because I loved making posters and I loved using these psychedelic colors. So it brings me down memory lane. So anyway, I'm not going to lay this down on the plate because it's wet. So I'm going to air dry this separately and come back and recap, and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, this has been air drying for about half an hour, and I think it's fairly dry. I do like it. I think it's cool. In fact, I don't think it needs collage because I'd like to show off these textures, the brush mark textures. And here's a close-up. I think these textures are very cool. And it's not just the shapes that are interesting. They are interlocking shapes like a puzzle. but it's the textures and the brush strokes that give this piece some movement. And it's also the contrasting colors. And it's a little bit of, it's a departure from the usual circles and lines that I do. So I hope you like this short video. And again, I appreciate all you subscribers and viewers. And I do appreciate your comments because, you know, for me, this is a learning process. It's a journey. I'll be very honest with you. I am new to this medium because I am more trained in the old school printmaking, like silkscreen, lithography, and woodcut. And this whole process of jelly plate printing is something new and exciting. And I think it's accessible to anyone. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.